Meteorologist Mike Favetta has the detailed Garden State forecast for us. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Ken. That is an angry looking sea, but good to
Yeah.
see there's nobody out there on the water. Like we've been saying, too dangerous to even look at it from afar with all of the gusty winds and, of course, the waves coming up on shore. You see the satellite now as the sunrise is showing those outer bands impacting the coast, but it's the winds that will be hammering the coastline today, in addition to the waves. Very little in the way of rainfall, maybe just a half inch or so as that easterly breeze pushes some light showers on shore, but not the day to be out by the water, especially with the temperatures holding in the low 70s, far below average. And with the sun rising now just beyond 6:13, you have a look at the high cloud deck. These are the outer bands that are working their way to the east, as of course the rip current risk remains high today, that shade of red up and down the coast. So here's a look of the satellite. The storm now starting to pick up more of a forward speed and momentum as it pulls away. So as it does so, that gives us an improvement to the conditions quickly. By tomorrow morning, we'll be back to sunshine early on in the day and keep it that sun around throughout the afternoon. Even as the storm goes by very quickly, we'll enjoy that clearing with the high pressure building in, allowing for lots of sunshine to take over tomorrow and a dry northerly breeze. It's that dry weather that sticks around for the first half of the weekend, leading to a very pretty day tomorrow. Temperatures climbing back into the upper 80s on Saturday, and then some clouds by Sunday, maybe a passing sprinkle with some clouds lingering into Monday. But Tuesday and Wednesday of next week turns beautiful yet again, and we'll be back to calm seas by that point. So you can head out to the beaches and enjoy just in time for a few days before the Labor Day holiday weekend. So again, this weekend down at the shore, a little bit cooler overnight, climbing into the low 80s, and then with that little bit of a rain chance for Sunday into Monday, we're back to sunshine by Tuesday and Wednesday. So those planning on the shortened work week next week, heading down the shore, getting away a little bit earlier, it looks to be the right move, given how Tuesday and Wednesday will start off a very pleasant stretch of weather into next weekend.
Mike, can I just say this that and I mean this not blowing smoke from the bottom of my heart. When you say we're going to have a stretch, we have a stretch. When you say ugly for 2 days, we have it's uncanny how accurate your forecasts are. And again,
Oh,
not
thank
saying
you.
that. Listen, I've sat in seats like this for 40 years. And I'm just so proud to work with you and how accurate your forecasts
Okay,
are.
Ken,
It's just
you want my theory
amazing.
on this? Because I get this all the time, in like the lines when I'm waiting to check out for groceries or just seeing people on the street and they ask what I do. And you get the line, oh, it must be nice to be wrong and still have a job. Not necessarily.
Eh,
Because say those at that work for teams at the big networks and channels, right? They go away on the weekend, and if the forecast blows, meh, oh well, they're in their garden in their backyard at home, they're at the beach, nobody. Meanwhile, as a small business owner, when the client says you were
mhm,
wrong, guess whose shoulders it falls on? Uh-huh. And if they don't like
you
it,
got
they'll
it.
not only let you know, they won't renew the contract, then you may not get paid. So I think there's a little bit more of a responsibility factor of if I don't
I
get it
think
right,
you're right.
well,
I think you're
we
right.
don't need
And
to
by the
talk.
way, just so that people realize at the excuse me, I feel the allergies kicking in. At
Yes.
all the network owned stations in New York,
Mm,
when you see there is a difference between a weather forecaster and meteorologist. A lot of people think you're all the same. Weathermen,
mm,
you're not a weatherman. You're a certified meteorologist. And
yeah,
at the channels, some, I won't say their names because they're friends of ours, some are weather forecasters, not meteorologists.
sure.
And what they do is they
Yeah.
take now, that doesn't mean they don't know what they're talking about. A lot of them do. They're
No.
pretty darn good because they've been doing it a lot of
Right.
years. But
Yeah.
most of them are reading or taking a look at what the actual forecasters like you write and they
Mm,
translate it, you know. But there is a difference. The guy that you and I both worked with used to get on the phone and fight with the weather service that was paid for by that channel. They
I
used to
remember.
curse at 4 a.m., remember?
I
Because he didn't
remember
agree
well.
with what they were saying. And he was almost always right because he
Hmm.
had the experience, and he is a certified meteorologist, not to
Yeah.
your level of intellect, but certainly he knew what he was talking about. But anyway, we can go on
Sure.
for hours about it. Mike, bottom line, I'm trying to tell everybody, if Mike is saying you're going to enjoy the weather next week, you're going to enjoy the weather next week. So count on it. Mike, thank you, sir. We'll
You
check
bet.
back in a little bit. You could send me a check, by the way.